Hey y'all, this is Jordan here, and today I'm gonna be showing you how to make a, excuse me, a very basic club style beat. This contains a lot of the stuff just within Ableton, but I bought deadmau5's sample, deadmau5's sample pack, and it contains claps, cymbal effects, cymbals, hats, kicks, loops, etc., etc. So right now in my MIDI track I have a drum rack, and I'm gonna import some basic kicks and get the ball rolling. I want a big kick, but nothing that punches too hard. And I'm very picky about what I pick. So kick 17 seems good, so I'll drop that down. I'm gonna rename this as kick 1. And I like to have 2 kicks, so let me go to hall kicks. Okay, so the very first one really struck me. It's very dark and it has a lot of space. So kick hall 2. The next thing we want is claps. And I think number 17. Yeah, it's 7 and 17 really struck me. So I'm gonna grab those, rename those real fast. Clap 1 and clap 2. The next thing we want is, let's see, we want like a realistic sounding hat or something that's very short. So number 2 is good, and number 5. So we're going to name this hat 1 and hat 2. The next thing we want is like a little snippet, like more like a sound to fit in between the notes, like as a 16th or a 32. Let's see, FFT. Let's go for 11. Call this perk 1. I'm actually going to drop that down. And perk 15, perk 2. And we also want a cymbal FX. I like 32 because it cascades all the way down. I'm actually going to go in here and drop this down at least 20 decibels. Okay, so now that we have our basic drums, I'm just going to create a MIDI clip. And fourth, I set it to fourths, so that way it's 4 bars. And it's 16 beats. I'm going to pull this up, and right now I'm going to draw just fourths. So I'm going to right click, go to fourths, just draw a whole line. I'm going to make it very soft, and I'm going to switch it to 8ths. Now for every fourth, like right before the beat, I want to drop down that kick, that hall kick. So right before it hits 3, 2, and 4. Okay, the reason why I didn't drop it right at the 5th, it's because we want something that kind of grabs the attention but doesn't grab it as a basic beat. So right now I'm going to drop the clap on 1/3, clap 1 and 2. No, clap 1. Then on 2, 3, we're going to do clap 2, but do it along with the kick. So, and you want the claps to be repetitive. You don't want too much randomness. It's very basic. So right now I'm going to go in the 16ths and I want to draw very light hats. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to leave out the very first, when the kick hits, I don't want the hi-hat to play along with the kick. So every 3, I want to skip 1, draw 3, skip 1, draw 3. And do that all across the board. So I'm just going to copy and duplicate all across. And let me, so now we have the second hat, and this second hat will come in around the middle of the beat. I'm going to drop 2 of those. And the cymbal effects, we're actually going to duplicate this by holding down Alt and dragging down. So now we have a duplicate. I'm actually going to rename this 1 and this 1.5. So now that we have this symbol, I'm actually going to, well, you can do 2 things. You can right click and you can go to 1 bar and just, would 1 bar work? No, it would have to be 4 bars and then just double click the note or draw it in, however you like. Or you can go back to 1/16, double click the note or draw it in and drag it. Now we're going to actually go into the drum rack itself and we're going to create a little sidechain effect. Now the problem is that we need to actually have a compressor. So I'm going to go in, grab a compressor, drop it in the audio effects. Double click the compressor and turn on sidechain. Go into the drum rack and choose kick 1. Now it's good to turn off the volume so that way we don't hear the kick along with it, but it will be pumping this cymbal effects along with it. So this is send A of the drum rack effect chain. So I'm going to turn the cymbal effects all the way up. And now we should, let me turn this back down to 0 and see what happens. Just going to adjust it. Actually going to hear, that's what we want. Turn it up a bit. There we go. It's a little too loud, so I'm going to turn it down. So now we have a basic clubhouse stretch beat. And something that like Zed or Deadmau5 or Joel Zimmerman or any of those people like to do is they like to drop a little percussion bit in between. So I'm going to turn on 32s. I actually don't like the way this is lit up, so I'm just going to click into the track and get rid of that. So I'm going to turn on the listen. Have a listen to number 2. That's a little too fast, so I'm going to turn on 16ths. Let's see. Turn it. I'm going to use the first perk, the second perk right before the third, and the first perk right before the 5th. Turn this off. So there we go. There we have our clubhouse drums. Now, the one thing that we want to do is EQ it. EQ the whole thing and really get our drums really pumping. So I'm going to drop an EQ 8. Going to go over to the first one. Going to type in, let's see, 205 hertz. And I want to bring up the gain at least 2 and do the Q probably about 5. Let's bring it up a little bit more. It'll boost our claps, so don't worry. And the 200 parameter, I'm actually going to turn this into a high pass. Figure out where our kicks are. Those sound fine to me, and let me do fourths. Let me just do a band. Turn that up a bit. About 2 and no Q. As for the third, I'm actually going to go around 500. Let's do not 54 hertz, but 500 and 544 then. And turn that up a bit. There we should have a better drum rack right now. Better drums. So now we have a very basic clubhouse, and that will do it for today.